Good evening, everyone. This is Ryan Hoyme, aka Massage Nerd, and this show is brought to you by our friends at Massage Magazine Insurance Plus. Massage Magazine has been exploring touch therapies for over 25 years and has used that industry knowledge to develop the best value liability insurance in the business. And I want to thank Eric Dalton for sponsoring this presentation and offering Massage Nerd listeners to a 10% discount on all his home study courses. Use the code MN10 when you check out at ericdalton.com. And another sponsor is Shelene Taylor. She turned her struggling massage therapy practice into multi-million-dollar, multi-location success, and now is showing others how to build a purposeful and profitable massage practice. Visit www.iambiz.com. Okay, welcome everyone. This is Ryan Hoyme, aka Massage Nerd, and today we have a very special guest, Shelene Taylor. Welcome, Shelene.
Hi, Ryan. It's great to be here.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah. And our topic tonight is going to be creating buzz for your biz for free.
That's right.
A lot of bees. So.
That's right. I know. All right. I'm really excited to learn about, to share with others what worked really well for me in my business and getting free exposure in print and TV.
Yeah, and people love that four-letter word too. So.
Yeah. Free.
Yeah. So how long have you been in business then again?
25 years.
Wow.
25 years, yeah. I just let my massage license go last year, actually. I did stop practicing about 15 years ago.
Okay.
So, but, yeah. 25 years.
Do you miss it at all then?
Do you know, I get so much pleasure from what I do now that I don't miss it any longer. Okay. And I still see a lot of my same clients. They're still connected to the company.
Okay. That's always a good thing. So you also have been teaching a lot of classes too, in conferences, workshops, everything else and stuff. Why did you want to get involved in teaching others then?
Because through my 25 years of business, I've seen a lot of really, really talented and great therapists fail, but just because they lacked some business skills or some business strategies. You know, that's the one thing that we don't learn in school, and most of us don't come to this field with a business background. I didn't. I had to learn the hard way. So I love this field, and the more of us that can touch more people and bring well-being to people, the better this planet's going to be. So if I can help other practice owners thrive, I'm going to do that to the best of my ability.
And one question too before we get involved in the topic, but why do you think a lot of people do not take business classes at massage conferences and once they get out in the real world then?
You know, I'm really not sure. That's something that I intend to change along with a group of other people. Yeah. Because I'm not sure. I know that for me in the very beginning, you get really wrapped up in providing massage. And sometimes they don't know what they don't know, or they don't know that they need certain things, and they don't know that they don't have to struggle. I think that there's a mindset where we get real focused on developing our hands-on skills, and we just forget that we really need to have business skills to stay in business, to continue providing this work to the world. So it should be an 80-20 rule, or actually 70-30.
Okay.
70% hands-on training and 30% business training.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, and what I've noticed too is a lot of times, like halfway through the program, that's when they have their business classes. But once they get out in the real world, they forget a lot of that information. So. Yeah.
There's a lot to do when you get out into the real world. There really is. I mean, it's. I found it overwhelming. Are you still there?
No. Yep. I'm still here. Yep.
Okay. I found it really overwhelming myself. Just to, work on my clients, collect the money, book the appointments. And it wasn't until I was working 7 days a week and really struggling and just not making any money that I decided to take business courses. Actually, I actually hired a business coach.
Oh, you did?
It transformed my business unbelievably. I didn't know what I needed.
Is that kind of like a life coach then, would you say, or?
No, this one was specifically, it was called Action Coaching, and Clint was my coach, and he was amazing. And it was more for retail stores, really not service oriented, but a lot of the same principles and a lot of the same strategies were absolutely applicable. And when I put those into place, I probably, my income probably went up about 50% in a year.
Oh, that's awesome.
But you have to implement, and that was the other thing. It was just, I mean, I had to work more to
Yeah.
get that in place. But I'll tell you, Ryan, that it changed. It just changed my life.
Yeah, because I even crossover for like you're saying that somebody that's not really geared towards massage, you can still use these principles, then, right? Yeah.
Yes, yeah, yeah. The principles, actually, business principles, pretty much are across the board. I mean, I happen to teach real specific things for massage therapists, but you know, business is business. Ours is it's a business.
Yep.
I know that we like to heal people, we like to touch people, but it's still a business, and that's the approach, I think, that's not really taught. You know, we get into it to help people and to heal people, and there's often a mindset that you can't be a healer and be rich, or you know, we like to give away our treatments for free. So there's mindsets that enter into it too.
Yep. And luckily, I see that changing some though, so it's not as bad as I saw many years ago and stuff like that. I think what's helping too is with the schools. I mean, they're just getting a little bit more institutionalized and everything too. So
Yeah, I agree. I agree, and I think that we're going to continue to see people investing in their business skills as well as their hands-on skills.
yep. And the school I used to teach for actually had associate degree for massage. So there's not a lot out there with associate degrees, but there's tons of
That's
business.
great.
Yeah, there's tons of business classes, so it actually helped out tons for the students.
Yeah.
And so, what are some free things that people can do to create buzz for their business then?
Okay, I'm gonna go through this. Um, there's a couple main ways to do this. One is with public relations. So, and the other one is to become an expert in your community for the media. So PR is really about getting the media to write about us or to talk about us. It is a great vehicle for free advertising. So when you have an article published in the newspaper, or you're on a TV show as the expert, it just brings you tremendous coverage, and just presents you in a way in your community that you can't get through advertising. So if so the art of it is getting them to write or talk about you. And so how do we do that? So you have to be newsworthy. So it's about sharing information. This is what the media looks for. They look for information that people must know, should know, need to know, will want to know, or would be interested in knowing. So, you know, the media is not just about news. It truly is about entertaining and educating and informing. So the story, whatever story that we create for our PR, for our press release, needs to satisfy that criteria. And what it does for us, again, is it brings us exposure. It gives us a sense of credibility. And it's really cost effective, because all you have to do is write the press release and take the time to send it out and connect with people. It can drive traffic to your website. It drives traffic to your stores. And what I'd like people to know is that the media is always actually looking for the next fascinating or groundbreaking or even just interesting story, because they often have spaces in their print publications, or little spaces in their TV or radio shows that they need to fill. So they do look through their press releases to find things that they can fill that space with. So these are the things that to know if you're to write before you write your story. Okay, so you have to ask yourself some questions to brainstorm writing a press release story. So what is new or unique about your services or your products or even your business setup? For example, I was the very first company in Tucson, Arizona to do a membership program in massage. And we do an annual membership program. So we were the very first ones. So that was new and unique about my company, Rubs. Or what do you do that your competitors don't do? How do you save people time or money? What new trends are in the industry? So if you follow what's happening in the world of massage and you pick up some trends, then you can educate your community about those trends. Or maybe you could start your own trend. Who knows? I mean, I've seen people do that. Or you could sponsor an event or a contest. Or you could be the collection site for something that's happening in your community, like the diaper bank or a food drive. So if you're the collection place for that, then you get free mentions, right, on the radio or on TV and in print. You could tie your stories into holidays or other local community events. Maybe you look at a time. I know that we have Massage Week, is it national or international? National Massage Week. So that's a good one to make a press release on, is bringing that to a reporter or a journalist, and then talking about it within the local community. Or what you could do is tie something into the seasons. So for example, if you have a hydrating foot treatment with special cream, then you might have, it might be a segment on summertime. So how do you help? So there's always, like, summer for Arizona anyway, there's always summertime hints. So one of the things, I haven't thought about this, I think we'll do this. One of the things that you could do is tie your hydrating foot treatment for summer feet. Or create like a soothing peppermint foot rub for the holiday season when people are always on their feet. So there's little pockets where you can fit in to the press. All right.
And I know this one pharmacist in this really small town, what he did was he had a weekly article, and it was of different pathology every single week, and
Right.
Related to medication, but it wasn't even really pushing that he was a pharmacist kind of thing. Just at the end of the article it said it, but it was more of a passive way to get information out there, but eventually people got to know him a lot more too that way. So
Exactly. And you actually just stated something that that is really important, and it is to when you're presenting something to the media, whether it's print, TV, or radio, it is not about being a commercial ad. It's about presenting information. It's about presenting knowledge. So what he was doing was teaching, right? And he was educating.
Yep.
But what you do, you get at the end of that is your contact information, and people see you as the expert. I mean, it's an excellent way to get coverage. So when people are writing their press release, and it actually can be short. I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
No, okay. Anyway, it needs to be short, and just like our marketing, it has to have a hook, and it has to have like a great subject line or a great heading. Okay, because you want them to. They do get a lot of press releases, so you really want to make yours interesting. So you have to capture attention. The last one that I did was about creating 50 new jobs for Tucson, because the economy is not as robust as it has been. And in Tucson anyway, that creating new jobs was a newsworthy article. Or if somebody is introducing something that's eco-friendly, or maybe you can create your own event too, and for charity, like take a charity under your wing and have some sort of event. That will get you some free press. So when you're writing about the press release, you want to think about why your story is going to be interesting or informative. It has to be short and attention-getting. Now this last one that I did, I emailed it twice. The first heading was 50 new jobs for Tucson. The second one was, ribbon cutting ceremony. So I got a call after the second one, and I don't know if it was just because I sent it twice or if the second heading was better, because you really are never going to know what captures their attention. And out of that press release that I sent twice, we got a 3/4 of a page article in our local newspaper. They came out and they took pictures of one of the new studios, and then they interviewed me over the phone. I mean, this is like gold. I mean, truly, getting any kind of free press like this is just golden, because it brings you to in front of so many people. I mean, I could not have afforded, or would not have spent either, an ad for a 3/4 page ad, right?
Yep.
So for TV and radio, like the last time we were on TV, I think it was about self-care. I think they were doing like a segment on self-care, and so we took our chair massage, and we showed them, the audience, some stretches, self-care stretches, and we showed them how to use a tennis ball on their feet and on their scapula, on their back. But whenever you take chair massage, people just love that. People love to watch that. So when you are going to communicate with a television station, think about what visual aids you can take. Okay, so you can either put the visual aids in your letter to them, or you can tell them what you'd like to bring, because they want to hear what's going to make it really interesting and what's going to engage and capture the attention of their audience, so they don't push that remote control. When you go to pitch yourself, just like to the TV or radio, just like to the newspaper, you want to be brief and you want to be attention grabbing. They don't want to hear you droning on. So this is something actually to practice. You can practice it verbally. If you're going to call them, you want to practice verbally what you're going to say. You want to get to the point. You might want to have somebody read the letter that you're going to send out to make sure that it's understood. Because I have to say, it's all too easy when we're writing things ourselves. We understand it, right? We get exactly what we're trying to say, but when you give it to somebody else, they may not get your message. So really have somebody look over your material before you send it out. So visuals. Never beg for coverage if you're turned down, but do keep going back. This is again, it's marketing, and it's kind of like marketing to our internal market, our internal clients. You have to keep in touch with them. So just because they turn you down once or twice, or maybe even 3 times or 4 times, they might say yes in a year. And as long as you've got it in your marketing to-do list, checklist, and you've got things ready to go, you just keep doing it. And eventually it will pay off. It has for me. Let's see here.
And one thing on the same line, one of my past students, what they did was they contacted a local radio station just because they really wanted to be on there. And they were able to get on, and they said they would do chair massages for all the staff members the whole time they're on air. So they got tons of press. But
Yeah.
one thing they told them beforehand is make sure there's no raunchy comments, make sure it's all therapeutic about the massage, and make sure that they agreed to all that beforehand. So they did. So
that was very smart of them, Ryan,
Yeah.
because I've heard some radio shows that have not followed that. So
Yep.
that's excellent.
Yep.
Really excellent.
Yep.
Yeah. So, it's funny. I actually tried to bribe people with chair massage, and they wouldn't let me bribe them. They said, we don't take bribes. So, good for that person. Wow. One of the other things, we all have unique personalities, right? Especially us massage therapists. So when you're thinking about a story that you want to pitch, you could do all kinds of things. I know I met one therapist who works with Cirque du Soleil when they're in town, so she could actually do a great press release on how, as we know, it increases athletic performance, or it helps athletes perform better. And so that would also be a good story. Or somebody that might be a little funny, or maybe I read some article about, suppose this happened on your wedding day, and then perhaps tell a story about a bride who pulled a muscle and had to hobble up the aisle. If only she'd known about massage, she would have been able to walk up the aisle gracefully. So it can be really anything you can think about. I mean, there's really no boring stories. There's only boring approaches to stories. So it's about being creative and about being in your brand and in your style when you're doing that. And there are some shows that look like they're interviews. Like, I don't know if you guys have this. It's called The Morning Blend. You heard of that one?
Nope.
No. Okay. They you actually have to pay. I think it's like $600, and you get 5 minutes. But they may have also free slots on there. I don't know. I haven't checked that out.
Well, then somebody in the chat asks, are those press release services at all useful, or do they just do things that we can do ourselves at no charge?
What I found is that I've never used a press release service, but I did hire a marketing company, and I found that I got just as much response without them as I did with them. So one of the things I think that this is something, particularly if you're building your business and you have the time, you can do it yourself, and you can be just as effective. I didn't know the reporter that I sent these to. So, if I never had experience using that specific service, I would do it myself, quite frankly.
Okay. And what about, a lot of people are deathly afraid of actually talking to people, especially groups and stuff that say the TV or radio or anything else like that. How do you deal with that? How do you get over it?
Well, what's that old saying? You just feel the fear and do it anyway. It's again, I think if you practice, you practice in front of your mirror, or you practice in front of a group. Before I taught my first class, I actually taught it to my employees, because they were my captive audience. So you just practice. The TV is really interesting because you don't see anybody. You just know in your head that somebody's there. So it's actually quite cozy, because you're really only talking to the reporter that's there. It's not as bad. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And if you're really that nervous, then just focus on the print press releases, because those are great. You can get print coverage. So I'd like to say some do's and don'ts when you're doing a press release. One is to make sure that you're accessible and that you come across very knowledgeable, which is why I like to do mine in writing, because I can polish it and polish it and polish it, right? And then you have to make sure that you're accessible. Your contact information has to be very visible. Don't make them search to find how to get a hold of you. Never speculate, okay? Just stick to the facts. Well, I was to say don't offer bribes, but evidently I've got to change that, because it looks like bribes work.
Yeah.
Look and listen for opportunities. Don't exaggerate. Have something really interesting to say, and don't put off creating a press release. So I want to ask everybody here's the call, to actually brainstorm a topic and a story for a press release by this Friday. And then I want them to write the press release by next Friday and get it out. They'll be amazed. You guys will be amazed at how this can help you. The media really, they They look to entertain us. They look to provoke. They look for inspiration. They capture our imagination. There's frustrating stories. They challenge us. They amuse us. So you can tell your stories in so many different ways. And again, I can't stress enough. Like, it's just like the guy that you were talking about writing the articles. Whenever you're in front of your community in any form of PR, you come across as the expert. Now, that's the next way to get free buzz for your biz, is to build a relationship with journalists and with reporters. Because whenever there's national stories on different things, they're always looking for the local expert, right? To explain it more or to give their slant on it. And I know that you've all seen this out there. So become that local expert and be available when they call you for a quote. Another way, one of the ways that I started creating, I call it celebrity, but it was just connections in my community, and I was scared to death to go in front of people and talk, quite frankly, Ryan. I got into this business so that I could be in a dark room with one person, one-on-one, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want to go talk to people, but I had to. So one of the best things I ever did was go to a local vitamin store, and they used to have these workshops for their customers. So I would take my chair and I would take coupons to hand out, and I would do chair massage and educate people. So it was like a little classroom thing with a little bit of free hands-on work, not too much. But I got face-to-face with people, and that was a great opportunity for me. So, wherever you can speak, wherever you can go to an event and present on a topic of wellness or stress relief. And again, it wasn't about an advertisement for me. It wasn't about my company. It was about what massage did for you and what it could do for you. So that's what they look for. They look for those educational, informative types of talks. Also, if you have a celebrity in your business, we've actually had several celebrities, but one in particular is the symphony conductor for Tucson, the Tucson Symphony. And so look around in your practice and see who you have that's a celebrity, because if you can get a testimonial from them, then you can use that in your advertising, or you can use that also in your PR stuff. So, one of my clients, so-and-so, has this to say, and just include that in testimonial. So that gives you social proof, right? So you have a well-known person in the community that gives you social proof. That's another way that you can help your press releases or help your connections.
And then somebody in the chat asked, how important is it to know the right people in the media?
I don't know anybody in the media personally, and I've also heard that, other than usually our anchors that stay around, I don't think they're the ones that really create the stories. The people, like all the reporters, when you're sending in press releases, that's kind of like any other kind of job. They change. So there's new people that come in, the other people leave. So I don't feel that that's necessarily important. It's just about, if you can build a relationship with someone, then do it. But I don't think it's necessary to be connected with somebody. Every time we've been on TV or the radio or in print, I have not known the people.
And sometimes it's better not knowing then, right? Probably
so. Yeah. You might get further along if you don't know them. I didn't think about that. All right. I think that one of the most important things too about any type of marketing, whether you're creating a press release or setting up relationship with someone or getting into a speaking engagement, it's really important to just take that action and not put it off. So, this is something, that's why I want the people listening to the call to put in their calendar to brainstorm a story and write a story by Friday. Because I know that each one of you has something interesting to say, something unique to say. And even if it's creating, picking your favorite charity and contacting them and seeing if you can create an event where you can raise money for them. So, think of something that you can write a press release about and get that out there. What are we coming up on? We're coming up on.
Oh, one other question too in the chat. Of course. Yeah. What do you think of Yelp?
I chose not to do Yelp. I've done a lot of things like Reach Local and other types of internet marketing, and even with my 5 locations, for me, it didn't give me the return on investment that I wanted. I'm focused mainly on face-to-face marketing. 3 to 5 miles from each of my stores, or free PR. I do have a client that I work with that has done Yelp, and she's gotten great results from it. And I think sometimes it has to do with the community that you live in. For instance, where she's at, people think nothing of driving, 10 miles for a massage, which in Tucson people generally won't do. So it works really, really well for her. If you want to email me, I'm happy to hook you up with her so you can have a conversation with her about it. But I haven't tried it.
Yeah, and then she also says about the reviews too. I mean, are you concerned about people when they review your business and stuff, or?
I know I should be, but I'm not. This is what I think most people know about reviews. For example, in my community, there was this man who came in and he opened up 3 locations, and he spent a ton of money in advertising, and he would sign in on Google, actually, I think it was Google, and bash my places. And we knew it was him because the people that had worked for him that had come to work for me knew what his call sign was. It was Lucky Beagle or something. But you're going to have people that are going to be posting bad reviews that are actually not clients. So what I do is I go on and I post my own review, and I say, if anyone, I forget what I said, if anyone has a problem or has had any issues with our service, please contact me, and I give them my phone number and my email. Because not all the reviews on here are being posted by clients, because they aren't. Now, I'm not sure how Yelp works that way, but with the other reviews that I've had, they've been, the bad reviews have been from this guy who came in, who's now out of business, actually. And an employee that had opened up his own place was also doing the same thing. So the reviews, I think that because I come from a space of, we provide amazing quality service. I've been around a long time, and I have a mindset that this is what we're about. And our clients know, and there's enough people out there that know me after this length of time, that know that we stand by our services, and we guarantee our services. So reviews don't bother me.
Okay. And are you a big fan of Groupon at all?
I did. Ryan, I wanted to ask you what you thought about that, the reviews.
What some people actually said is they actually capitalize on the bad reviews, so they'll actually make fun of them in a way sometimes. And I've seen those kind of pictures and stuff. So I mean, of course you're going to get bad reviews and stuff every now and then. So
right. So I did LivingSocial, I chose LivingSocial because I had heard that the demographics were a little better than the Groupon demographics. And this is what I did it at 2 of my stores. I didn't do it at all 5. I just did it at 2. So what I did was make sure that I had certain parameters in place. So obviously it was only for new clients. And then I had it available only Monday through Thursday, because I've talked to a lot of people who didn't put any parameters on it, and then their Saturdays were filled with these Groupon people, which really cuts into your ability to bring cash in, right?
Yep.
So what I found out for me is that not very many of them have returned. A few have, and if they stick around for a couple of years, it'll be well worth it. But really, only about half of what we sold came in. So instead of $18 per session, I got the $39 that was sold for. I think that if you've got the time in your schedule to do this, it's a good way to meet new people and get new people on your table, because you never know when you get them into your database, right? So that's really important, of course. Capture their information, get them into your database so that you can connect with them over and over again. You can also, when they're getting ready to leave, you can do your own little special Groupon or LivingSocial offer to them. So if they book within the next 30 days, you give them that price again, but you get to keep it all yourself. But it does help get new people on your table and get people into your database that you can email to, and they might refer someone to you. We never know where people are going to come from.
Yep. And what other kind of things can people capitalize on that are free or inexpensive then?
Your feet. So the best way, I have to say, and I know I'm going to ruffle some feathers here, but for a local business, social media is the very last thing that I do, because for an international or national business, I think it's really important. But for a local community, I spend my time building up my database through email and by meeting the people within a 5-mile radius. So what I always did, and we do it today, is we go to the schools, we go to the hospitals to see if we can do a Nurses Appreciation Day. We go and introduce ourselves to every business that's around us. We go meet the doctors. We go to meet the chiropractors, and we just develop relationship. So it's about pounding the pavement in the very beginning. I spent a lot of time doing that. It's your feet.
Yeah.
Walk it. Well, drive, but really meeting people face to face, particularly in our field. When you've got a good presence and you've got a passion for what you do and you meet people, they're going to remember you. They truly will.
Yep, definitely. And
so I'd actually like to talk about, though, the most important thing that I feel about marketing that really hasn't been connected before, and that's our mindset, and it's our money mindset. See, if we have a limited belief, if we have a core money mindset that's a really limiting belief, it impacts everything that we do. So if you have a belief, say, money doesn't grow on trees, right? Or you have to work really hard to make money, and you're doing everything out of that kind of mindset, it affects everything that you do. And that was one of the things, in addition to hiring the business coach that I hired, one of the things they had in there was a mindset piece. And I learned to shift my mindset. And when I shifted my mindset, I approached my marketing with a whole fresh look, because I couldn't go out and afford massage, right? It was really hard for me to understand that people can and do and will pay for these services. They will pay for our services. So our mindset can sabotage our marketing. And I think, marketing, it's a hard thing to do anyway. It just really, at least for me, it is. It doesn't come naturally. It didn't come naturally. I had to force myself out. But when I let go of those limiting beliefs, things really started to expand for me, and my marketing started to pay off in a bigger way. And realizing that we are not in charge of our clients' money, and we can't make the decision whether they can afford us or not. They can afford whatever they want. Look at Starbucks. I think that's such a perfect example. $5 or $6 for a cup of coffee. I mean, huge company, right? Well, when you're providing a massage that is just so profound and transformational, people will find the money to pay for that. They always will find the money. People find the money for what's important for them. And it's just up to us to present our services with that passion and with that love and with that commitment, and through the space of a good money mindset, a supportive money mindset. I mean, once I figured out that I didn't have to work hard to make money, I just had to work smart, and I learned how to work smart, it just shifted things amazingly for me.
Yep. And then a question in the chat. How does she feel about giving 30-minute samples to marketing partners? And she's talking steady stream people, like-minded chiropractors with a small office without an LMT, for example.
What I found is they actually didn't. I set up a lot of relationships with chiropractors at salons and hotels that didn't have massage therapists in there. And I actually didn't have to do any free sessions. Interestingly enough, the doctors, for one, were generally too busy, and they just referred people to us. Mm-hmm. So as long as we were close to them, and I went and met them and talked to them, and they got to know me, again, it's more about relationship. I think it's great to offer that, and if they take you up on it, that's great too, but I don't know that that's necessary.
Uh-huh. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about interrupting. Go ahead.
No. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. So talk more about money mindset.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, also, what I learned was that money was truly about energy, and what money does is give me more choices. Because I didn't have a love for money, because money doesn't make you happy. But what it does is it gives me choices. It gives me the ability to support my family in the way that I really want to, or to enjoy and engage in experiences that I was limited in before. I'm being able to travel, or having the hobbies that I want. Having a respectful relationship is what got me to the multi-million-dollar mark. And quite frankly, Ryan, I mean, I had a real scarcity mindset. I was brought up to be either a housewife or a secretary. And I didn't like cleaning or cooking. And I actually didn't want children at the time. So the housewife thing was completely out. And the secretary thing I did do for a while. But I'm living proof that you can really come from a scarcity mindset and change that, and get some business systems and strategies and skills and implement them, and then create the kind of life and lifestyle that you want.
Yep. And another question in the chat is, what does Shelene think about using free chair massage to market a massage business?
I think it's great. We do that all the time. So, for example, one of the things that we do is we'll call the hospitals and call the schools, and I think schools are maybe starting to come up now soon in August or September, and so we'll contact them and we'll say, hey, we would love to do 2 hours of chair massage for Teachers Appreciation, and we've had a lot of yeses with that. So, but what we do is we take the chair massage there for 2 hours, 2 therapists, and we hand out coupons. So it's just to get us in front of new people. So wherever you can do free chair massage, as long as you've checked out the demographics, then I say go for it. But you want to make sure that the people that you're doing it for can afford you. So you have to check out the demographics. For example, where did we go? I think we went somewhere, some kind of expo on a side of town where they weren't our demographics. So we went and did free chair massage there, and we didn't get anybody from it. They just weren't people that had felt at all that they could afford it.
And then somebody in the chat says, I know she's offering a money belief seminar next week that I'm interested in taking.
Yeah, so the website is moneybeliefbreakthrough.com, moneybeliefbreakthrough.com, and it's risk-free. If you don't like the class after the first 3 classes, you can have your money back. Because I absolutely guarantee this will change your relationship with money. And it also provides some money tips and techniques, like because of our money I had really bad money habits. Really, so that's, I mean, when you shift your money mindset, then you shift your money habits and how you handle money too. So there's some budgeting in here, how to get out of debt. There's a tool for that. I'm also going to teach how to, and this is not just about money, but I'm going to teach how to take disempowering situations in your life, whether it's with a client or somebody else in your life. So it's whatever disempowering situation you have, we're going to take that and we're going to empower you to transform that and learn how to take empowered action. And reframe your money beliefs. Yeah. If you're like me and had and I have to say, I took this training a while ago, and I was at the multi-million-dollar mark, and I took this training and I got so much out of it. I was just amazed. It's like peeling layers, or working through a muscle at different levels. There's just always something there to transform within ourselves, and once we do that, things just get better and better.
Yeah. And then the Quality Life says, is Shelene a fan of Dave Ramsey, A Financial Peace?
Oh, Dave Ramsey. I've heard of him. He's kind of like a Susan, yeah. What's her name? Can't remember her name.
Yeah.
This is more, he's real, if I'm not misunderstanding what I understand from him, I think he's much more practical. And this has some practical in it and a lot of mindset pieces in it. So it's a little bit different, might be along the same lines. I think any kind of money education that you can take is great. And I highly recommend it.
Yep. Okay, sorry about interrupting.
Nope, no worries. I was done, actually.
Oh, okay.
I mean, really, the massage world is just so amazing, and it doesn't have to be a struggle. I mean, I struggled. I was telling Ryan earlier, I struggled for like 10 years. I mean, I worked 7 days a week. I was the janitor. I was the marketing wizard. I had to learn. I was a massage therapist. I mean, and I'm just living proof. That you can come from nothing and create whatever you want. So if you just want to have more income, sometimes it's just a mindset shift. And sometimes it's learning how to prioritize how you spend your money too. That was another big one for me too.
Yep.
Having a budget.
And then somebody in the chat, can you talk about how the seminar works?
It's 5 classes, so there's 5 modules. The first one is reframing and your money belief, taking a look at your core money belief. There's an exercise to let go. There's money cards that you're sent, because we all kind of fall into a particular style of money, and these cards have our shadow side and the opposite side, and they're very valuable in looking at behaviors that we have. And you keep those, you'll have those forever that you can look at. I still look at mine. Then there's the specific piece about creating a budget, how to create money buckets, how to pay yourself, because it's really important to pay yourself first. There's magic in that. Setting goals, setting money goals is really important. The empowering piece, and then there's another piece. So it's five calls, 5 modules, live question and answer. So I became a coach, a certified coach in this program. So I'll be coaching people through anything that comes up, any challenges that come up. The calls are recorded if you can't make it. And there's templates and forms that you receive. And it's going to be awesome.
So it is going to be a live then, so people can ask you right then and there then, right? Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, so I can coach them. There's a method also for this to coach people through any blocks or breakthroughs that come up, or challenges that come up for them.
And then another question too is, they're a current MT student and just tuned in. Does it count at all towards continuing education at all?
No. Sorry.
Okay. Do you teach classes though that are CE?
No.
Oh. Are you gonna get into that realm at all?
I don't know. I don't know. I opened a massage college in 2004. I went through the whole hoop of private post-secondary education. I don't know. There's a mindset around always getting CEs that I also would like to change. Having business education is valuable, and there's not that many CEs that we really need, at least in Arizona. Might be different in other places, but investing in your business education, whether you have CEs or not, is priority. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I'm not saying yes or no. I'm just not on that path today.
Okay. Tomorrow though, right?
Maybe I change my mind often.
And is there any other advice you can give people?
Yeah. This is the most amazing field. When we touch people, it transforms them. They go out and they interact with the world in a different way. It changes how they relate to their family, their friends, to the Circle K person. It transforms how they are in their life. You each have a gift, and you each touch the world in such a profound way. And I want you to live with that in your heart, and to know that in your heart, and know that that's where you're coming from, to be of service. Because if all of us together, could touch just a few more people, this world would be a whole different place. So I want you to believe in what you're doing. Whether you're doing it part-time or full-time, just know that this is a much-needed service. And believe in yourself. Just believe.
Yeah, so true.
It really is.
And then somebody said, so she recommends not getting your CEs with the various free teaser sessions offered at chapter meetings and stuff then, or?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that.
Oh, so she recommends not getting your CEs with the various free teasers sessions offered at chapter meetings then?
Oh, why not? Oh. I do recommend getting your CEs. I do. Uh-huh. If you're looking for business skills to absolutely transform your business, you're probably not going to get it from the free stuff. You can get really great information from the free stuff. I mean, I still look at free stuff, but if I want to implement something and I can't figure out how to do it from the free stuff, then I get help. So I think any kind of education, CEs or no CEs, is absolutely important. But I think you have to balance education, because a lot of people like to just keep going to school and keep learning and they don't implement. And if you don't implement, then you can't continue to provide, you can't keep your doors open. Mm-hmm. So always education, any kind, is good.
And what can we see from you in the future then?
Oh, I'll be traveling and speaking more. I'll be seeing you more, Ryan, because I'm sure you're going to be traveling. I'm actually creating a program that's a foundational program for therapists, because the one program I've actually been selling has been for people who have staff and who needed policy and procedure manuals and contracts and how to manage a front desk and things like that. But I'm creating a program that is going to be amazing, and it's going to be all the components that I wish I would have had when I got into business. So it's about having a crystal clear plan, your identity, your brand, how to niche correctly. It's a two-phase marketing: client nurture and client reach. It's scripting and systems, because the one thing I didn't have in place was how to talk to people, how to ask them to rebook, how to do the exit interview. And then the next piece is, what's the final piece? Oh, leverage, how to implement leverage. There's many different ways to do it, and I'm going to share the ways that really worked for me. And it's not about hiring staff, if that's not the path you want to go. And then there's a live 2-day retreat, and it's really not going to be, it's going to be very value priced. I'll put it that way.
Yep.
It's called Steady Stream of Clients.
And then somebody in the chat asked too, let me just read this really quick. Has she written an ebook?
I've actually written a book that I published, and it's called Massage. Boy, what's it called? Oh, no. Oh, Massage Business Success, and you can find that on Amazon or on my website. And I have some ebooks that I published that are scheduling strategies. What's the other one? No-show, late cancel policy that are also on my website.
Okay. So the next conference that people can see you at is when?
I will be exhibiting at the World Massage Festival in Las Vegas. And then I will be in August. And then in October, I'll be at the Canadian Massage Conference.
Okay. And then the 2-day seminar, when is that? Somebody asked.
The Steady Stream of Clients packet program I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'll be launching that in August.
Okay. Cool.
So if they actually sign up for my newsletter on my website, then they'll get notification of that. So it's actually a 6-month program. I'm sorry I didn't say that part. It's actually a 6-month training program. So it's a live call, live Q&A call, all the documents and everything that you need, and then in addition to that, a 2-day event.
Okay. And your website again for people then?
IAMBIZ.com.
Okay.
IamBiz.com.
Okay, IamBiz.com. Everybody got that? Okay. Well, thank you very much tonight, Shelene. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Ryan. It's always a pleasure and an honor to be here.
Yep. And thanks everybody for tuning in.